my guest is Professor Anvil Harzing. I'll keep my introduction short to maximize our time with her. In the next 30 minutes or so, we'll talk about Anvil as a person, Professor Harzing as a thought leader and an esteemed scholar, and finally as a mentor to many PhD students and junior faculty. Thank you, Anvil, for joining us.
Very happy to be here, Ilgaz. It's really a great service you're providing to the IB community.
What do you wish you knew or you would have known that would save you so much pain and agony at the beginning of your career?
Oh, I think this is something that if I answer this on a general level, I would say realize that an academic career is all about persistence, is all about resilience. And I think that's something that nearly every senior academic will tell you. It's not necessarily about brilliance, it's about persistence and resilience. Because rejections are so common, you need to be able to persist and move on. But I would also say realize that an academic career is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Many academic careers, they might spend 5 decades. I know academics who've worked over 6 decades. So you can actually have multiple careers within the same academic career. So you don't need to do everything now. And just like with a marathon, the key is endurance and pacing yourself. So if you run too fast in the early part of the race and your career, you might be promoted much earlier than someone else, or you might get tenure easily, but you might burn out, or you might lose your passion and your intrinsic motivation in the process. So think about it as a long-term game rather than kind of needing to get there as quickly as possible.
What are some of the common mistakes that you see that these young scholars, junior faculty do?
Yeah, I guess a common mistake, as a kind of brief follow-up of what I said earlier about the sprint and the marathon, realize that being in academia is not about competition. It's not about being better than someone else. It's not about beating someone else. It's about collaboration. Collaboration is tremendously important in academia. And if I am on, for instance, a selection committee, and I'm looking for a new colleague, I would select someone who is competent, obviously, but I also select someone I would like to collaborate with, I would like to work with. I'm not looking for someone who might be an excellent star performer and will consistently publish in JIPS, but is going to stab me in the back when I'm not looking. So collaboration is really important, and focusing on that rather than on competition is important. I guess the other thing is something that took me a long time to realize, and I'm now teaching it in the writing boot camps that I'm running, is that journals really are communities of academics. And if you are submitting to a journal, certainly that's the case in our field, but I presume it's the case in most disciplines, you are really joining a conversation, and there's conversations going on in these journals all the time. So when you submit to that journal, you need to make sure you acknowledge the conversation that has been going on. And you shouldn't kind of overhype your own contribution by saying, I'm the first who's ever investigated this. In most cases, it's not even true. It just means you haven't done a proper literature review. But or maybe you have framed your study too narrowly and you've just overlooked related disciplines. But even if you are the first, you do need to explain how it connects with others, how it connects with what has gone on before. And in my writing boot camps, I'm using the analogy of cement. You need to put the cement between the bricks of knowledge, and together they build a house of scientific knowledge. But you do need to cement, you do need to show how it connects with other research. So I think that's, once I realized that journals are communities, it became much easier to target my work to journals. So that's two. I could think of more, but I think you have other questions as well.
Okay. What's the question that I should have asked you but haven't?
I guess you've asked lots of great questions, but what I would probably have expected is also a question about the thing I mentioned earlier, collaboration. Most academics that I know, including myself, are strong introverts, and we like withdrawing in our own minds and thinking ideas and working out projects. But we also enjoy bouncing off ideas with other academics. So collaboration is really important, and research, I see, is really about finding the right collaborators, making sure they have complementary skills, but compatible work methods and ethics. Because if they don't have compatible work methods, then it's going to be really hard to work with them. But I think most of all, make sure you really like them, and you look forward to actually interacting with them, and you get positive energy from interacting with them, because it will make your professional life so much more enjoyable. And to be honest, these days, I often look at people I like and people I enjoy interacting with, and then we find a topic to work on.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I learned a lot. I'm sure the audience will agree with me. Thank you, Anvil.
You're very welcome, Ilgaz. It was an honor to be asked, and a great pleasure to talk to you. You're really an excellent interviewer.
Thank you.